What up, what up, what up, what up? It's me, Teddy27.
Good as night, right about the hood.
Oh, dear God.
I'm already eating a drink. Look like a damn mess, just a damn mess. No means no, and yes means no.
What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What's up? It's me, I'm Teddy27, and I'm back for another NFL Fantasy Week. This is week 5. Listen, y'all. I know my shirt is wrinkled. I woke up late. This video is getting out a little bit later than we wanted to get out. But I was sleeping so well. The rain and all of that. You know, we're getting the remnants of the hurricane. So the rain felt so good and I just slept later than I should have. But we're back. This is week 5. Now, as you know, there are injuries aplenty, COVID, injuries and all of that all across the NFL, okay? So we got to get it in this week. This is the middle of the season now. We're past week 4, so we're right in the middle of the season. This is where, you can do some real pushing on your fantasy league, and that way, you don't have to scramble toward the end of the season trying to make sure you get a playoff spot. This is where real fantasy players secure their playoff spot between weeks 5 and I would say 10. From week 5 to week 10, that's where you secure. Or week 5 to 9. Those 4 to 5 weeks, that's where you kind of secure and submit your playoff spot. So this is what you want to do. If you can roll off 4 or 5, a 4-0 or a 5-0 record in the next 4 to 5 weeks, that will cement your fantasy playoff spot. Anyway, let's get right down to it. I actually have extra picks this week on the quarterbacks and the tight end, and I have an extra sleeper for our wide receivers. So let's get down to it. We're going to start off with our quarterbacks. Quarterbacks this week, I like Kirk Cousins versus the Minnesota Vikings, and they are going to be at Seattle. This is one of our premier games. There's about 3 games that you want to look for starting skill position players and or the quarterback. That's the Minnesota Seattle game. That's the Carolina Atlanta game, and that's the Jacksonville Houston game. I think those games, of course, I don't even have to tell you the Kansas City. I think they're playing New Orleans. No, the Kansas City game. I forgot who they're playing. It just escaped my mind. Somebody will correct me. Anyway, but that game I expect to be a shootout as well. But the Jacksonville game, the Carolina Atlanta game, and the Minnesota Seattle game, those games I expect to be shootouts. So I like Kirk Cousins to finally bounce back a little bit this week and he's going to be away at Seattle. I like Teddy Bridgewater this week of the Carolina Panthers, and he's going to be at Atlanta. That's a division game for them. But I like Teddy Bridgewater to shoot it out and do well this week, get you some quality numbers. I also like Gardner Minshew of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they are going to be at Houston. All right. So our sleeper for the week is going to be Justin Herbert of the Los Angeles Chargers. They are going to be at the New Orleans Saints. Okay. Justin Herbert, we know Tyrod Taylor had the punctured lung, all of that, so forth. So Justin Herbert is the rookie starter. He's been doing well. He's been chucking it up with his big arm, and I don't see that to stop with the New Orleans Saints, who, they give up points. For our tight ends this week, I love Jonnu Smith of the Tennessee Titans, and they are going to be at home versus Buffalo. Love him this week. Oh, God. What's that? I like Eric Ebron of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're going to be home versus Philadelphia. Philadelphia is giving up points versus opposing tight ends, so I like Eric Ebron. He hasn't done what we wanted him to do this week, but if he's going to do anything, this is the week. If he don't do nothing this week, I don't know if we're going to ever have him back on our list. And I like Hunter Henry of the Los Angeles Chargers. They are at New Orleans. Okay, so I like Hunter Henry. The Saints are giving up a ton of points versus opposing tight ends, so I like Hunter Henry there. My sleeper this week for our tight ends is going to be Ian Thomas of the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. You remember last season, Atlanta Falcons and the Seattle Seahawks were the two worst teams versus the opposing tight ends. Atlanta hasn't done anything to stop that this year. So look for all opposing tight ends versus the Atlanta Falcons defense to do well. And I expect Ian Thomas to do well for the Carolina Panthers. For our running backs this week, we have James Robinson of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're at Houston. Even though in the past Houston has had a great run defense, not so much this year. I don't know. Everything's kind of tenuous over there with Bill O'Brien being fired. It's a mess out there. So I don't know. I'd really like to see what Houston's going to bring. But anyway, with the Texans out there reeling at the leadership position, I like the Jacksonville Jaguars to put up numbers against them this week. David Johnson of the Houston Texans should fare well against the Jacksonville Jaguars run defense, which isn't doing well. Also, I told y'all that game is one of my games I expect to be high scoring. I like David Johnson in that game. So look to start him. I like Mike Davis of the Carolina Panthers. They are at Atlanta. And my sleeper for this week is a fellow Miami Central Rocket and a fellow Florida State Seminole, Devonta Freeman of the New York Giants. Now, he should get the start with Saquon Barkley out. And he's been doing well. Now, even though people will tell you Dallas has a pretty decent run defense, we know that Devonta Freeman, for some reason, likes to play against that Dallas defense. He's fared well against that defense in years past. So I like him to be my sleeper this week, Devonta Freeman. Our wide receivers for this week are Darius Slayton of the New York Giants. Now, he is the preferred wide receiver out there. And Dallas gives up points versus opposing wide receivers. So I like Darius Slayton of the New York Giants to do well this week. Deebo Samuels is making made his return last week, and so I look for him to get more touches. Get more passes thrown his way, and they're going against the Miami Dolphins. It's the Miami Dolphins, my hometown, Miami. I'm a Miami native. Miami Dolphins can't stop a nosebleed. So look for Deebo Samuels. I look for him to do well this week for my beloved San Francisco 49ers. Zac Pascal of the Indianapolis Colts is my third wide receiver this week, and they are going to be at the Cleveland Browns, okay? Zac Pascal, although you have T.Y. Hilton there, I just see, it seems like Phillip Rivers isn't on the same page yet with T.Y. Hilton. So I like Zac Pascal to do well. The Browns secondary is awful. So I like Zac Pascal to put up some points. Now I have two and a possible for my sleepers at receivers. We always need a ton of receivers. So I got two and a possible like we're playing spades. My two sleepers are Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. Opposite Adam Thielen, I look for him to do well. Okay, Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings, they're at Seattle Seahawks. I like Tim Patrick of the Denver Broncos at New England. He's a sleeper. Remember, these are sleepers now. So I like him. He's been steadily doing okay. Now, when we're talking about a wide receiver sleeper, maybe you need a third wide receiver because you got people on the bye. Maybe you need a flex. So look for Tim Patrick to maybe get you some points. Now, this is a crapshoot, this third one. This is the possible. But I have a hunch with him. T. Higgins, quiet as is kept, has been, even though Tyler Boyd is the feature receiver out in Cincinnati, T. Higgins has been quietly doing his thing, and I'd like for him to be a sleeper this week to see how he fares against a pretty good secondary. They are going to be at Baltimore. If T. Higgins gets you a good 8 points or more this week, he's probably going to be a legitimate starter come next week. So he's my possible because I like to see what he does this week. I got a hunch with him. All right. I feel like the secondary of Baltimore is going to focus on Tyler Boyd. All right. So here is our favorite moment of the week. El Teddy 27's fantasies. Our two fantasies this week. So this is the battle of the abbreviated or acronymic first names. Both of them just has the letters for their first names. And so, yeah, got two good ones this week. So our first one is going to be DJ Moore. He is a wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers. A nice piece of, he's a little light bright, on the lighter side. Light caramel on the lighter side. He's a little lighter than caramel, though, but on the lighter side. Real nice, real easy on the eyes. Something to do you right at night. Wide receiver, that is DJ Moore of the Carolina Panthers. Our next fantasy for this week is going to be none other than J.K. Dobbins. He is a running back for the Baltimore Ravens. Another nice, light, bright, light caramel. Not really caramel, but a little lighter than caramel. Something nice and right. Nice arms. Something nice to hold you at night, Two good picks this week. And that is J.K. Dobbins. Hope y'all like my picks this week. Y'all know I always say, let me know if you do well. If you have questions, send me questions. I have been getting questions from people about who to start and who to sit in on their respective rosters. You send me an email or text message, or DM. I will respond and give you some good advice. All right. That's all I got for y'all this week. Until next week, I'm El Teddy 27. That's all I have. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out.